Hello, my name is Victoria Tobias, and this is my proposal for a compassionate parenting program that I would like to submit and propose to the Office of Student Involvement at FGCU. My program is called Mindful Parenting, Raising Kids with Compassion and Empathy. The agenda today will be an introduction, my objectives, the needs that will be addressed, the solution to those needs, my actions I plan to take, the plan of events, the timeline, impact and indicators, and then a brief summary. So, mindful parenting is a program beneficial but not limited to parents to be, parents of children of all ages, grandparents, and individuals who work with children. Mindful parenting is designed to empower parents or individuals to foster collaborative thinking to further drive their compassionate parenting skills. This program will hopefully be available at FGCU's Cohen Student Union building in one of the conference rooms twice a month. The objectives are to address parents, guardians, and caregivers of children from birth through adolescence, as well as professionals who work with children and families, such as educators, therapists, social workers, and doctors. Our program is not limited to these people, and we encourage any and everyone who wants to participate. We are also here to cultivate empathy, compassion, and understanding, foster resilience and problem-solving skills, create a safe and supportive environment, celebrate success and learn from mistakes, and develop meaningful connections with children. The Mindful Parenting Program will address the following needs. I will first go over each need, and then I will explain a little bit about each one. So, number one, enhancing self-awareness and understanding of one's own needs and emotions. Developing awareness as a parent requires us to begin understanding who we are, what is important to us, and what we believe about our children and childhood, and how we relate to the world around us. Number two, provide nurturing and supportive parenting to cultivate a secure and loving bond between the parent and child. Being loved in a consistent manner is life-giving for both children and adults. It adds to our sense of value and worth, makes us feel safe and secure, and inspires us to love others in a similar manner. Number three, understanding and accepting children's emotions. It takes intentionality to learn to understand a child's emotions. This requires self-awareness, trust, and recognizing how to act when the child is not feeling loved or safe. Number four, compassionate self-regard. Developing compassionate self-regard is a vital act of self-care. Learning to speak to yourself kindly can help offer empathy and warmth when you speak to a child going through similar situations. Dr. Becky Kennedy says it this way: parenthood means helping your child develop and grow while you yourself are developing and growing at the same time. Number five, helps parents or individuals to develop constructive ways to handle difficult behaviors and situations. Studies have demonstrated that we are actually happiest when we give our attention to the thing or activity we're currently doing and our attention is fully engaged. When using behavior modification, we can temporarily change behavior, but without attending to what's under the surface, we cannot change the dynamics that motivate a child's behavior. Prioritizing control over relationship building is a dangerous trade-off. It is essential in the first few years of a child's life to build emotion regulation, coping skills, intrinsic motivation, and inhibition of desires that are necessary for life success. Another reason to focus on connection over behavior modification is that if we don't build a sturdy foundation with our kids based on trust, understanding, and curiosity, then we have nothing keeping them attached to us. Number six, develop empathy and mindfulness toward yourself and others. In order to develop empathy, kids need to have a quote-unquote theory of mind. Basically what this means is that they need to be able to understand what other people are thinking and feeling. By the age of 5, kids can start to understand emotions. A highly developed theory of mind can improve the quality of social interactions. The solutions to the problems or needs of this program are listed here. I have 10 solutions, and I will also elaborate on each of them. Number 1, communicate openly and honestly with the child. This means talking calmly and avoiding an angry encounter will more likely make them reflect on their behavior and avoid it in the future. Children of all ages can pick up on body language and feelings and sense when you are not being honest. With this, communicating openly, you don't want to overshare or speak too openly. When I say this, I mean you want to keep age and maturity level in mind. Number 2, spend quality time doing meaningful activities. Set aside time to enjoy activities. Put your phone down, be fully present. You can do this at meal times, on the way to school, relaxing in the evenings, etc. Number 3, listen and acknowledge the child's feelings and emotions. Make sure there are no distractions. You cannot be effective if you're multitasking. You want to make eye contact, and sometimes a verbal response is not always needed. Sometimes we tend to talk too much instead of being quiet and present. If you do feel like a response is needed, make sure it is heartfelt. Number 4, establish clear and consistent rules and expectations. You want to convey expectations in terms of the behavior you wish to see rather than the behavior you do not. For example, if a child is shouting at home, instead of saying, "Stop shouting," you can say, "Please use your inside voice." Number 5, help your child be independent. You want to be a good mentor and a trusted guide rather than a fixer. Be thoughtful, show them how, and try to be silent. Another example for this one is tying shoes, like teaching your child how to tie shoes, or washing the dishes, doing things on their own, and helping them be independent. You don't want to do it for them. You can show them quietly and let them repeat you, and this can motivate them to be independent and they have a sense of self-satisfaction. Number 6, respond instead of react. When you respond thoughtfully, you are helping your child develop autonomy, promoting good manners like grace and courtesy, practicing mutual respect, and instilling a sense of personal responsibility. Number 7, encourage instead of praise. Praise promotes dependence on the approval of others. It involves judgment and focuses on outcome and competition. It is a type of external reward as opposed to the intrinsic motivation that comes from encouragement. Children experience a sense of self-satisfaction and pride when encouraged, which helps them grow in confidence. Number 8, accept your children's mistakes as learning opportunities. Allow them to make mistakes. They will learn valuable lessons rather than feel scolded. If we inhibit mistakes that seem obvious to us, we will inhibit their independent learning process that can easily be overwhelmed when we jump to quick solutions. Number 9, show your child unconditional love and acceptance. Being consistent in your responses and acting respectfully to everyday situations creates a sense of safety, making it clear that your love is not conditional based on your behavior. Even if you disagree with your child's behavior, you can still accept and love them. Number 10, support your child's interests and passions. Pay attention to what they are drawn to and think of practical ways to help them develop an interest. Be mindful too, not to pressure them to do things they do not want to do. So after submitting this proposal to the Office of Student Involvement, these are the actions that we need to start running our program. I need to recruit 4 students to run the program. I need to recruit guest speakers and teachers to attend and provide feedback. We have to qualify as a registered student organization, which means that we need to be a group of at least 4 currently enrolled FGCU students who unite to promote a common interest. And then we have to be acknowledged by the Office of Student Involvement in order to reserve a space on campus at no charge. We're looking to reserve a conference room to run our program twice a month at the Cohen Student Union. And then once we are acknowledged, we can submit a request to reserve a room no later than 14 days prior to our first proposed event date. This is my plan for the proposal launch. First, I'm going to develop a comprehensive program outline that covers topics such as understanding the child's needs, developing positive communication, setting limits and boundaries, and creating an environment of safety, trust, and respect. The next step is to start marketing, and I would like to use FGCU's Instagram page because that will reach a lot of our potential participants, and then also just by word of mouth and printing flyers to disseminate across campus. The next step is to start connecting and networking with local organizations, schools, and businesses to form partnerships to spread the word about the program. Next, our strategy would be to host regular events to support the program, inviting guest speakers and having workshops. Then we would launch and set a date to begin the program. After that, we would continue to follow up with participants to track progress and provide feedback. Here's the timeline for the program. So tentatively, we would start May developing the program outline, and then in June, market on social media, and then word of mouth and traditional flyers. July, we would network with our local businesses and nonprofit organizations and schools. In August, we would launch the program, have our first meeting at the Cohen Student Union, and then in September, we would start offering incentives for future dates and then provide evaluations and feedback. And we are also open to feedback to improve our program. So the total amount of time would take about 5 months from start to finish and then continuing on. Here's my list of impact and indicators, which would show proof that the project was successful. The impacts would be positive on the participants, provide necessary relief and assistance to the participants, reduce emotional suffering, help improve relationships, create a sense of solidarity and community, encourage empathy and compassion, and promote positive social change and reduce disparities between different groups of people. The indicators are reduction in child neglect, improved relationships between adults and children, increased parent-child communication, increased health and safety of children, improved educational and economic outcomes, and increased overall well-being of the family. Mindful parenting is striving to provide the resources to anyone who cares for a child, whether you are a parent or not. Our plan is to emphasize a holistic approach to parenting with an emphasis on developing a secure attachment and communication between yourself and child. This proposal outlines a program that provides individuals with the knowledge and skills to become more mindful and intentional in their parenting approach. The program will use a combination of mindfulness-based activities, lectures, and group discussions to help parents become more aware of their own thoughts and emotions, as well as the thoughts and emotions of their children. It will also provide guidance on how to incorporate mindfulness into everyday parenting tasks and strategies for responding to challenging behaviors. The program will be tailored to meet the needs of each participant and will include resources for continued learning and support. This is one of my quotes that I received while researching from Dr. Susan Polak. She says, "Mindfulness doesn't have to be something you do alone in silence in a meditation hall on a remote mountaintop, but something that can become a part of your crazy, busy life as a frantic parent trying to juggle way too much, which is in fact when you need it the most." I really like this quote, and I hope you do too. Thank you for listening, and here is my contact information.